What is going on, everybody? And in this video, we're giving the state of the market and stock picks for August 12th, 2022. So if that is something you are interested in, consider subscribing, as I do provide daily and weekly updates to get you prepared for the day and the week ahead in this emotional phenom market in which we are currently in. So double tap the like and let's get this thing rolling. Because we are talking about the state of the market currently, the only things that have weight, in my opinion, are the core and the Fed rate raises, which we have about a month before we get the next core and a month and a half before we get the Fed. So at this point, there's no reason to sell unless, again, we get new information aside from just talk. And we've got a lot of talk, and a lot of data that is so much showing that things are getting better. But you have to also understand that inflation comes in waves. It doesn't just inflate and then just stop being all-time highs, right? It's something I've been talking about, something to be aware of. Again, the momentum is up. You don't fight the momentum. It's currently very strong, but it is showing signs of weakness. It's something I've been talking about is even looking technical-wise, we hit the 42.85, and we kind of just got rejected pretty hard out of that. But we are sitting above a lot of what was old resistance, now new support. As long as we can hold the 41.91, I think we were pretty solid from that point. But again, we haven't even retested this trend line. It is Friday. We're going to have to see. There's a lot of what if scenarios still going on out there. So you can't just say things are perfectly good or perfectly bad. The world is still in shambles. There's still a lot of really bad things. The dollar still sitting at 105. Crude oil pushed right back up to $94. Again, we are, in my mind, still things in the very beginning stages. We haven't seen the worst of it yet, in my opinion. I still believe there's one really strong leg down. And I'll take that for what it's worth. But currently, as you can see, we've had nice little pumps, nice little rallies that we thought we were reversing, and we ended up just selling off. But for right now, the core CPI came in lower, right? We talked about that all yesterday. Right now, again, we're just going to see. We're going to continue to watch and continue to see. The market is strong. The nice thing is that you're seeing strength in banks again, which you haven't seen. Banks have been consolidating for a long time. So I really think in the next couple of days, what you're going to see, since we're rotating out of tech earnings, we still got about another week or two of tech earnings. So I think what we're seeing that a lot of that money being transferred over to value and financials. And since financials have been consolidating for a while, we can get a really nice run out of financials and value. And then once that cycle ends, then we'll get that cycle back. We'll come out of that cycle, that downward cycle of tech, and then you'll see tech start to pick back up and start to rip again, going into the next CPI, core CPI. So right now, that's what we're kind of watching, trying to see, watching primarily value, watching primarily financials moving forward until then. And right now, you're going to see, this is the thing about the index. The index won't push up a whole lot if tech's starting to sell off, right? And we're starting to see some selling in tech. Tech just isn't as strong right now. Even though it's a struggle to get up at these levels, things look like they want to roll over. We're kind of really just stuck. There isn't really any good news. There really isn't any bad news, right? We have hopium, but right now it's not enough. It's come down, but again, we fell for that last time. And what happened, right? Last time inflation came down, we realized it wasn't the peak. And that's, I think, what people are concerned. And so why I think there's going to be even more weight into the next core CPI, because if it's even down further, that would suggest that we have hit peak or potentially, right? It's still over time, you're really going to determine if we've hit peak or not. So you could have another downward cycle where we're kind of laying off of inflation, but maybe still high. Maybe we came 8.2, and then the next one we just jump right back up to 9.5 or something. Could potentially happen. You can't say nothing is off the table. And so, again, right now we're playing momentum. the things that have weight, they're a ways out, and so we're not really concerned about that. Right now, we are focused on value and we are focused on financials until they start to show weakness. Right now, they're showing a lot of strength. We saw Airbnb and the banks again have a really nice push today. And then aside from that, everything else, tech is just kind of just dormant for right now. So we have to wait and see. So as far as Bitcoin is concerned, again, this I think it got some headroom back up to the 30. It's still pretty much sitting right under this we'll go 25K mark. So it really needs to be break back over that to really have some sort of significance. But again, it's going to has a lot of resistance to the upside. You get that 30K still sitting there. It's got a break, and that's again, it hasn't even retested this in a long time. So again, always first retest. You normally get a hard rejection, although we didn't see that on SPX. That first rejection it's kind of just blown through everything because of hopium right now. I think we just have so much bad data that any hopium was a positive sign. Now it's like, okay, well, give us something fresh, something new, or else the market's not going to move. The market doesn't really want to rally right now because it's still uncertain. But on the same note, it doesn't want to sell because nothing really bad news is coming out. So again, Bitcoin will move with the market, but currently right now, it's got those technical levels. You're looking at the 25 again and the 30K. And see what goes on there. Again, oil has jumped right back to $93 a barrel, and then your dollar still sitting at 105. Tesla had a nice little bounce here, right? Like I said, when it's first bounce, so it comes close. Again, higher time frames. Yeah, the 20 EMA, 50 EMA weekly it bounced off of. You had a nice little pop, but it's starting to lose momentum. And then you also have all that news about Tesla, Elon selling, liquidating more shares. People aren't going to like that. So we have to see what happens here. But we really want to see if it can hold at 825. Again, it's only been roughly about 2 weeks since Tesla earnings, and since we really have only started selling over this past week, you're going to slowly start to see them melt off. So looking more around towards the beginning of next month, you should hit some sort of bottom on this and then potentially consolidation and potentially start moving up again. Again, I think we're going to need some pretty heavy bad news to start breaking these levels for Tesla. Anything is possible, but again, we have to see. And then you got that 3-for-1 split coming up at the end of the month. So we'll see on that. And look at some value. MEMS have also had big days today. They had another huge day today. But this is having issues trying to break the 27 mark. Again, these candles, I don't like the fact that that first initial candle's big, and then after that, it pretty much just chops. I mean, most of the market has been like that, so I really kind of watch for MEMS. They're on my radar, but definitely be careful. Again, it could be topping out at the 27, so what you really want is this thing to break above or just not mess with it, or break below the 21, or try to catch it at the 21 mark to the upside, or wait for a break for 21 to go lower from there. So want to keep MEMS on watch. BA, so your value. BA is still chopping around a lot. I really want to see what happens there, but again, not the best value right now. I'm saying again, a lot of financials are due. Airbnb had a massive day today. I called this one out yesterday. I didn't play this one. I was watching this, and I was watching Disney. Ended up taking Disney instead. Still made out, even though the move was so quick. Had to be in and out of that one. A lot of these you have to be in and out. Even this one, really nice rip this morning, and then just died off. So looking for this thing to hold the 120 mark. If it can hold the 120 mark tomorrow, I think Airbnb could have a nice rip. So this is back on the radar. Again, second day. This is, I think, the first big pump. You could call this originally the first pump, but this is more of a big pump here. I think we can get a nice rip again tomorrow. As long as the market sentiment is good tomorrow in the morning, I think Airbnb can have another really nice rip. But we have to see what is going on with that ultimately tomorrow. Coin, not so good. Banks. Banks are starting to show strength, and this is what really matters. in my opinion, as long as it can hold. We haven't retested, so I actually wouldn't be surprised if we pulled back to the 118 mark. As long as it holds 118, I think banks can really start getting a nice rip in the next week. Potentially fill this gap here, I think is a strong possibility. So I think you're kind of setting up for financials and setting up for value next week. So that's what I'm kind of looking at. Going in tomorrow, I don't really know if there's really anything that's going to be worth anything, to be honest. These short moves aren't really worth it, in my opinion. It's better for those things to kind of play out a little bit, get some bigger movement. Like I said, the index is really pinned pretty tight, so just trying to wait and see if that does break out from there. But yeah, we'll have to see, and then go from that point moving forward. But again, as far as other banks, GS is still holding well, looking good. BAC breaking out to the upside. I get a hard rejection. Like I said, we could get a hard rejection tomorrow. We want to kind of retest this resistance we had. We didn't really do that. We kind of just went parabolic. So we're kind of looking for a retest and some financials tomorrow, and then go from there. Shop. Again, this could potentially be a good play tomorrow here. This retest here, as long as it can hold the 40, open up back above 41. I think we could get a run back to the 46 and then potentially break out from that point. So shop could be another really good one to watch as well tomorrow. Chips, they're actually they made a comeback even after everything that went on. But the thing to watch here tomorrow on chips, right? Their forward guidance, essentially all of them have pretty much been bad. But you had the break here, just like on the index or on Tesla. So you have your trend line here. You have your trend line here. You have the break, the retest. You're starting to sell off. Now, this thing could tank all the way down to the 91. So if you're looking for a short play tomorrow, as long as it's holding below the 100 mark, it could be a good entry for a nice short down to the 91. Again, these are daily candles, so I don't know if we're going to do a straight sell-off unless you have some news to sell us off that low, potentially. But we have to see again on that one moving forward. So ultimately tomorrow, it looks like we could, looking at everything in general, it looks like we could have a nice little pullback tomorrow and then kind of play it from there. Obviously, I think things are kind of setting up more for next week. So more your financials and values next week. And then I think tech will slowly start grinding down from here. Again, trying to get out of that earnings cycle mode, I think is what we're aiming for. So again, I don't want to make this video too long. It is a Friday. There's not a lot being going on. I don't want to keep jabbering on about the same stuff. So if you've made this far, I do appreciate you. Go ahead and drop a like button. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.